everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Ella and thank you so much for joining us today. Today I'm going to be talking about how I made a 4.0 in college and how you can do it too, with a couple different tips and tricks on how to have your best academic experience in college. So if you guys want to see that and want to know more, make sure to watch today's video. If you guys want to see more of me, make sure and subscribe down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Hi guys, so I just want to make sure and tell you guys, like, grades aren't everything in college. They sure do help, but I don't want you to watch this video after having a bad semester and like feel bad about yourself. Everyone has bad semesters. It happens. It's okay. So yeah, it's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. You have a long time to grow, and that's what college is all about. My first semester ever in college, I had a 2.86, I believe, GPA, and now I'm looking at probably graduating with honors and having last semester a 4.0, previous semester 3.75. I'll just list all of them right here so you guys can kind of see my progress, and a couple semesters I've gone back down. I wrote all the ideas and tips and tricks I had on my phone, so I'm just going to be reading them off for you guys so I don't get off track, because I tend to do that. So first thing I want to talk about is study time, and along with that would be time management. College is one of those things that you are highly encouraged to join clubs, to make friends, especially in the state of the world we're at right now. Everyone's feeling really lonely, so I extremely encourage you to do that, but just make sure, like, don't try and join like 10 different things. Like, it's not like high school where you can do honor societies, varsity sports, like your own clubs, club sports, do it all. College, you need to have maybe like one or two, and then school, because school is so much more time consuming. Even though there are less classes you're taking, like most high schools you're usually taking 6 or 7 a day, college you'll only be probably taking maybe 3 or 4 a day, and probably like 4 to 5 classes in total, but those classes are much longer, a lot more time consuming in work. So just make sure that you have enough time to study and do that work, because it can really pile up. So with that, I highly recommend a planner. I have a video all about how I plan. I'll link it up in the cards and down below, so if you're interested, it's super helpful. I actually have my planner right here. It is the love of my life. I have the Erin Condren planner. Don't feel like you need to go and spend a ton of money on a planner. I just love them, but I have, if you don't want to spend this much, get one from like Target. They have some of the cutest designs, and the only reason I have like a really crazy kind of expensive planner is, one, because like I want to, and I use it for sorority work and schoolwork. So get a planner. It'll save your life. It's amazing. You have to have one in college, whether you use the Google calendar, iPhone calendar. I like those, but I prefer a handwritten planner that I can take with me everywhere and look at. It's a little bit easier, I feel like, to keep track of everything with a handwritten planner. I may be old school. You guys may not like that, but that's just kind of how I feel about a planner. My next tip would be to talk to your professors and create a relationship with them, especially once you start getting into your major classes or classes related to your minor. You could be having those professors again. I've had a couple professors I've had like multiple times, so you want to start creating those relationships with them, because you never know who you're gonna need to write a recommendation letter, especially if you want to go to like medical school, law school. Maybe you want to run for a position in your organization, you need rec letters for it. Job applications, all that kind of stuff. It's amazing to have a great relationship with them. And when it comes to schoolwork, instead of just being some random kid who emails them, it can be like, oh, it's Ella, like, she has a YouTube channel and she has a dog, and we talk about our dogs together, and she emails me with a couple different questions, and she always ends her email very politely, like, hope you have a great rest of your evening, things like that. Like, making sure that you're very polite and professional with your professors, because they are people too, and they crave connections with you as well, unless they're like some complete like asshole. But other than that, most professors usually want to talk to you and meet you and know more about you. I know it can be really hard on Zoom, so making sure that you're sending those emails and going to professor office hours literally is what changed like my college experience. Going to their office hours made me have more of like a deeper connection with my professors, even if it was just over Zoom, just kind of chatting about what's going on in your life and like things like that. Especially too, like, maybe you're super busy, like let's say you like play basketball for your school or something, and you're super busy, and you have a game, and maybe like you've talked to your professor and your professor knows that they may be a little bit more lenient with you about deadlines and things if they know what's going on in your life. So nobody wants to be that kid that emails like a month after the class is over, like, can you change my grade? Like, no, that's not for anyone. Or like, will you take this paper late? Like, I had a family emergency, or maybe I was in the hospital. Like, let them know what's going on with you. I mean, you don't have to be like in full detail, but just kind of like give them a little bit of gist and of what's going on, and they're gonna be so much more likely to want to help you and all that kind of stuff. And then my next tip would be to take time to yourself along with study time. After like a couple hours of studying, you can be really burned out, especially if you're doing like long stints at libraries and things like that. Take time to work out or have a self-care day. Take a bath, do a face mask, go, maybe your self-care is like going grabbing drinks with friends, like making sure that you're taking time for your own personal mental health. Or maybe you're just sitting watching YouTube or Netflix, and making sure that you're taking time for yourself, because school can be very time consuming, emotionally consuming you, all of it. So especially with the state of the world we're in, I feel like things are just so crazy. So please make sure that you're taking care of yourself and just your own mental health, because this is definitely a year I feel like everyone, no matter how happy and amazing your life is, has struggled. So please take care of yourself. Next would be to have a study group and or a group of friends. This can be a little complicated with the state of the world we're at the moment, like I've talked about, but you can reach out through GroupMe, Zoom, chat, which can be a little awkward, but it's a great way to just kind of like know what's going on. And I like class GroupMes. Just make sure, I always kind of recommend being the kind of quieter one in the GroupMe, just because you never know what people are gonna say, and or if people ever talk about cheating or things, just make sure you leave the GroupMe so then you can't be penalized and stuff. But Wiggles is running around on my bed, so sorry if y'all hear her. But just make sure that you are whoever you're collaborating with, obviously you do it in a professional way, that you're not like cheating, but just like getting together to study and make note cards or talk about the class, like that should be completely fine. And I highly recommend that, especially to like having group chats be like, hey, like, did you make sure you did your homework, things like that, because maybe you forgot about it that day, and it can be a great reminder and just kind of a great way to be held accountable with what's going on. And especially once you get into your major classes, you'll be seeing these people possibly in other classes as well, like throughout your future time in school. So it can be a great way to kind of start those friendships, and you never know who has connections. So it's a great way to have friends, get connections, and also just like learn more about your field that you want to go into. Next would be, this one's kind of a obvious one, but to take notes. The amount of kids I would see in my classes that just stare at the teacher, like, I don't know how you do that. Like, you are some superhuman, but I don't know. So those people are sus to me, but I highly recommend taking notes. And I'm very detail oriented. I like to write my notes, but that's just because I'm not a fast typer. If you are a fast typer, I applaud you, but that is not me. So I like to handwrite them, but if you can type them, whatever works for you. Just make sure that you are taking notes, just because you never know what can show up on an exam or a quiz. And I especially feel like nowadays in society, we consume so much information between social media and like Netflix, Hulu, the news, all of it, and just making sure that you and within class itself are consuming a lot of information between multiple classes. So making sure that you're just kind of like keeping track of what's going on, because once you also get into your major classes, a lot of them are going to be similar and blend together. So make sure that you're keeping track of what goes where with all your classes is amazing. I personally like to get a big binder and get little notebooks that go into the binder, and I have one for each class, and that'll be like semester 1, like fall semester, and then I'll take those notebooks out if I fill them up. If I don't fill them up, I'll use them again. But if I fill them up, put them away, and then get some for spring semester. Do not throw away your notebooks. That's a huge thing. Never throw away your notebooks once you start getting into your major classes, because you never know if some classes can relate to each other. Once you're out of school, and if it eventually like doesn't relate to anything by like your senior year, then you can get rid of things. But I really do recommend keeping things while you're in school, just because you never know if it could help you out later on. And then my next tip would be to learn how to study, because this is something that is not really taught at all in high school. Like, and I feel like in high school you can just kind of like slack off. Like, I would definitely like slack off in some of my AP classes, and I would still make A's. And college, it's not that way. You have to work your little booty off to make an A in like any class. So learning how to study, whether that's flashcards, rewriting your notes, doing multiple days in advance, going over the homeworks, whatever works best for you, learn it as soon as possible and try out different methods to figure out what works best for you, and then stick to that and use that to do well on your exams, because unfortunately exams are usually the way that kind of make or break you. So some of my biggest recommendations is to learn how to study, because it's so hard in college and so time consuming and just so much work, and you pay so much to be there, so you might as well put in the effort for your monies. So yeah, so that is pretty much all of my tips on how to get a 4.0. And I also just want to mention, like, grades aren't everything. Like, things do get better. If you've had a bad semester, it can get better, it will get better. Like, and don't judge your whole academic career and experience off of one bad semester, off of a few bad grades or test grades or homework grades. Like, it will get better, just as long as you just keep trying. That's all you can ask of yourself. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great afternoon, morning, or night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. If you guys want to see more of me, make sure and subscribe down below. Join our little family here. I upload twice a week. If you guys want to see more of me, you can follow me on my socials linked down below. And if you guys want to give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. So yeah, bye everyone.